Comfy Raylene on the couch. Thank you for watching the Barry Beat Podcast live, 185 North Main Street, streaming on 802 Scoop and from the Inside Scoop Studios. With us tonight, of course, you've got me, the wonderful, the awesome Michael Booten for Barry.
Michael Booten is Barry. Michael kicked some ass in Barry.
I did, and we'll talk about that. And of course, we have the ever lovely Raylene. Good evening, Raylene. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, actually.
You're doing pretty good?
Yeah, I'm tired.
You're tired?
I think we're all tired. I'm happy that the elections are over.
Oh, hallelujah.
But really, we only have like a month to breathe.
I know.
And that's it. Because that's all we get.
I know.
And so on a daily basis lately, I question why on earth I ever decided to get into politics with all of you people. Because I always say,
I know.
oh, we're done. No, you're not,
No.
dummy. You got just a very short time before we're right back at it.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the case. I know that
Because there's a lot going on.
there is. So I thought that I would have a month of, chillaxing. Oh, I just realized I didn't put Barry Beat up. That's okay.
Oh, man.
I thought I would have like a month to chillax, but I have to go in to get access to my email on Friday, and they're gonna assign me an iPad, which I'm totally not okay with because I hate iPads. What? You did a little. What's that? Oh, or is that the world's smallest violin?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the world's smallest violin. Whatever. And then next week I have orientation, which is 3 days long, and I'm gonna have to be like out and about. I actually asked Barb if she would take Leah for 3 days.
Oh, that'll be nice, though.
Yeah, she loves Leah.
Yes, she does.
We don't have her here tonight, but that's because I didn't bring her.
Right, because we had a meeting first.
Yeah, sadly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, there's no rest for the wicked.
No, definitely not. And definitely not in this situation. But,
No.
Whatever.
No, and we'll talk about the election results shortly. We'll jump in for city council.
Yes, absolutely.
All
No,
right.
because there's a lot going on.
There is. So as everybody knows, there was several water leaks or water main breaks in the last couple weeks. And the reason why there's the water breaks are happening is because of the flushing of the pipes. It's older infrastructure. So that's the reason why it's when the pipes are being flushed, that's what happens. It causes, where there's a weak link in the chain, it breaks, unfortunately.
Right.
But they're working on it, and they've done a phenomenal job. The DPW folks have done an amazing job, working
I can't even
hours
imagine.
and hours.
Can't even imagine. Those poor crews, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sent a text message to Nicholas asking if there was anything I could do, and he was like, everybody's been so supportive of our DPW folks, and I just want to say thank you to everybody that has been supportive.
Yeah. I know that people were offering food and coffee and, whatever they possibly could. And there were some people that were grumpy, but they certainly weren't grumpy out of,
Right.
it came from a place of just frustration,
Well,
and certainly not I don't think that anybody meant, any.
No.
I think everybody understood how hard they were working. I really
and,
do.
And it wasn't directed to
No,
the DPW
no,
folks
it's
anyway.
frustration of the infrastructure.
Right.
Yeah.
And the fact is that we have an old system, and I remind people that, when we were just at a meeting and we heard that there's going to be lots of buyouts happening, taking properties off the tax rolls, which is really unfortunate for Barre City because we only have 4 square miles of taxable property, and that includes all the schools that we have, all the nonprofits that we have. So who pays the brunt of that? Taxpayers.
Granite sheds, industry, store, it includes everything.
Yeah. And it's it's unfortunate. But they're working on obviously fixing the system and everything. So,
but it's going to cost money.
Yeah.
And that's where we get into stickies, because people were really upset that the amounts of water and sewer just increased. But without those increases, you can't make the fixes that are needed. So,
and we're not keeping up.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact is, I know that when I came on city council, I don't think the water rates had changed for
a long time.
For years. I know that we made a change to the water rate adjustment that it automatically goes up no matter what happens if the city council doesn't vote on it. This way we're not losing ground.
Right.
Which, still, we still lose ground, but at least we get a little. Are you getting warm and comfy?
No, I'm fixing this because I don't like how it's all messy.
No?
Sorry.
That's okay.
I can do these things.
You can?
And talk at the same time, though.
I can't.
I know.
I'm not that capable. So we do on City Council tomorrow night. They're going to be talking about the Prospect paving. Obviously, with the break that happened last week on Prospect Street, they're going to have to repave that. So there's a authorization for the manager to execute that contract. And there's also, we're going to terminate the agreement between Barre City and the Vermont Granite Museum regarding the Depot Square, which I remember when that went through, which was quite a while ago. That was almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It was a very long time ago. But,
and so then everybody will learn who's purchasing it? I
don't know.
Right.
I don't know who's...
Right, but soon, I'm assuming that soon people will learn who has purchased it. Yeah. After the word's out.
Do you know who it is?
Do I know who it is? No.
I feel like I don't trust you. I'm not going to lie. Do you know?
What would I know, Michael?
Do you know the Muffin Man?
No. I don't know the Muffin Man.
Who is the Muffin Man? So who is, you don't know who it is?
No, I really don't. Stop it. Just stop.
Drop in the comments if you don't believe Raylene.
Moving on to the next item.
All right. So we do got to talk about regroup. So for folks that don't know, the city has set up an app that automatically notifies you of things that are happening in the city. We're going to be using it for, I say we, but we as a community are going to be using it for parking bans, for the water breaks, everything is going to go through that regroup app. And you absolutely should go on to barrecity.org and follow the links for that. And I believe it's at the top, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
And so I signed up for it over the weekend, and throughout the whole water main break, it was certainly extremely helpful. And I kept posting, trying to get people to sign up as much as I could. And I'll continue to do it because it really is. It's awesome. And then The other thing I will say about it, though, is it says when you click on the link from the Facebook page, it says for you to go to follow the instructions. The instructions are very clear in that link. If you don't follow them and you just go to the app in a really hurry because you think you know how to do it,
Yeah.
it's not going to work well. Then sometimes you're not getting the code that you need. Things don't happen in order like they're supposed to. If you follow the instructions that are on the link and
Which
on
I
this,
just posted.
it's super easy.
Yep.
Super easy. You can do it from a phone, laptop, tablet, anything. And yeah, it'll work, I promise you. And it really was a great service to have.
Nice. So, folks, make sure that you follow the instructions. We should all know that, right? We're old enough to know that we should follow instructions.
Well, I think that when it comes to
I don't
apps
follow
and
instructions
stuff,
all the time.
and I don't think that a lot of people do, because when you just think, well, it's just like any typical app, but there's a certain spot that you have to write the thing for Barre City, and then there's a code, and without clicking the certain box, you won't get that. So, and when you're in there, it seems as though you want to click the other box, but you really don't. So, yeah, but it's pretty cool and it worked great, and I was glad to do it. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, and I didn't have any problems doing it myself, so I was pretty. It was pretty easy.
Yeah,
I have
it
to
really
say.
is.
Then of course we have the refresher of the new winter parking rules, which you gotta get the Regroup app so that you can be aware of when you have to move your vehicle. So on the parking, it's from November 15th, which is that's going to be Friday.
Yeah, this Friday.
November 15th through April 1st, no parking on any streets or parking lots from 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. That's what the old way used to be, correct?
Yes.
And that's what it was. It used to be. But now you'll be able to park, but what will happen if there's any forecast that will result in plowing operations, it would trigger that. So, for example, let's say it's the 15th tonight. There's no indication of snow, so there's no concern you can leave your car out there. But if there were, Regroup app would send a notification, or you could just pay attention to the weather.
Right.
And you would get a notification and make sure that you don't park during those times.
And I believe that they are going to use the digital signs that are throughout the city as well, correct? Just to notify people, because people that are from out of state, people traveling, whatever, may not know. People from East Montpelier may not know, whatever.
Yep, so there's multiple areas you can find this information. It will be the Barre City resident alerts via Regroup. Then there's VT alerts, Facebook page at Barre City, Vermont, and then the website at barrecity.org, the digital signs, and which will be deployed throughout the winter to alert motorists, and then of course the Civic Center sign on Seminary Street, which is in the old Grand Union parking lot. And if you don't know what the old Grand Union parking lot is, you haven't lived in the city very long.
No, definitely not. But a lot of people may not know.
Yes,
that.
it's the Lenny's parking lot.
Because let's be honest, Grand
actually-
Union has been gone for a very long time.
30 plus
I mean,
years.
I was going to say my oldest is 34, and I think it was gone when he was born.
I think it's been
we
over
have
30
to we
years.
have to be
But it's, I say great. I think most people would recognize
I think you
it
could
as
get away with saying the old Soup and Greens,
true,
because that's been around for
decades,
a really long time.
I don't know, I still
And more
refer
people
to,
may know.
most people, I think, refer to it as the Grand Union parking lot, right?
They do? I don't know. I've always said soup and creams, so.
Oh. Mm-hmm. I refer
Yeah.
to it as the Grand Union parking lot.
Yeah. I remember that I just love to get chicken wings from the Grand Union.
Drop in the comments, folks, as to what you call the Grand Union parking lot, which is now the parking lot for Lenny's and
Right.
Walgreens.
Right.
I'm probably the only one. Oh, well.
Well,
What
not
are you gonna
necessarily,
do?
but you never know. But
Yeah.
anyway, so what's next after that?
So then we've got the resiliency plan.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not necessarily it's not like this plan that's that's being presented. It's just a accumulation of all the things that are going on that make up the plan, right? I think obviously the two top issues are that people think of are, well, three. I mean, you get the what's on there is the removal of the trestle, right? And certainly you, me, and every freaking person in the world would agree, yeah, dump the trestle, right? Just dump it.
Right.
But then there's things that we don't all agree in. Like, I think we should be dredging the river because
So do
think
I.
that, it's whatever. I don't really care about the microbiomes or what. When the water is overflowing into the houses and causing oil to go into the river, I'm thinking that dredging isn't that big of a deal for the
No.
environment.
No,
That might
exactly.
be wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
sure that people that are losing their houses are super concerned about the the fish.
Long-term health effects of it all
yeah,
too,
no
like
kidding.
a
It's
lot
like,
of granite block foundations and all of
yeah.
the oil and stuff that it
Right.
absorbed and
Absolutely.
dirt cellars and God knows what
Right.
toxins.
And folks talk. I don't need to drag on about dredging. But the fact is that we used to do it, one, and two,
Well, we
it's-
did maintenance, riverbed maintenance.
Well, I think it's sedimentation. The new term is sediment. This is Orwellian crap. That's
Right.
what this is. Let's just be
Right.
honest. It's digging out the dirt
Right.
that's been placed there for years of water coming down from upstream.
Sludge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is what it is. The fact is that Barre City's river was designed to flow the way that it flows, and we just need to clean it out every once in a while. What do you think about that bridge being removed, though?
I'm not happy about the Berlin Street Bridge being removed. I think it's a really bad idea. I think it's a safety risk, as I've said before. I mean, with Highgate Apartments, Countryway, now the possibility of Prospect Street Heights, and then just access to the Beltline, the hospital, several granite sheds, and to think that the fire department would, because there's no way they could use Smith Street, not in my mind. They'd have to go down to the intersection by Mr. Z's, the old Mr. Z's. That is also a super dangerous intersection to begin with, never mind for the safety crews. I've seen ambulances, fire trucks, and police cars try to get through there. I've actually seen smashed up fire trucks and police cars that have tried to get through that intersection and ended up in an accident. But if the thought of them having to go down there only to turn up and then go all the way back down and before they could go up, every minute counts.
Yeah.
And I think it's dangerous. I think it's a ludicrous idea. I think there are other solutions and we should find them. One, remove the trestle, like they said, maybe widen the river there so it could take more. There are points where the river could be widened a little bit. We talked about that, the whistling bridges there, the bridges that were the graded bridges
Yep.
that water could flow through and, better. Maybe that would help, or elevate them a little. We heard drawbridge, that you only drew up in the event of a flood. If it was one of those metal graded whistling bridges that was there for forever. There used to be one on
Blackwell.
Berlin Street, the street just up is that Blackwell?
Yep.
And Prospect Street, the bottom of Prospect Street, right by Gusto's.
Yep.
And the reason I know is because when I was a kid, I was petrified to walk over them when we walked home from school because I'm afraid of heights, and I was afraid of them. I thought they were going to like cave in with me and on it or something. I don't know, but I was petrified of them.
Is the one on Blackwell not a metal graded grid bridge?
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
So
It
no,
still is.
it's not now.
It's not now.
None of
Oh,
them
man.
are. Or they've tarred over it. I don't know. It's not metal anymore. But if they were metal ones again, I would imagine that you could just hoist them during a flood event. It just seems more feasible than just removing it altogether.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of just removing the bridge. But,
No, I think it's a.
I'm also
I
not
think
an
it's a safety.
environmental.
I think it's a safety problem
Yeah.
for sure. But what do we know?
And
We
then-
don't know.
No. No, we don't know anything, right?
That's right.
And then there is an update on the buyouts.
Yes.
Which I get really frustrated with the buyouts because we take them off the tax rolls. And, the federal government has done such a terrible job in not going to go down the whole route of, FEMA and having terrible jobs. Hint, hint, don't go to Trump supporters down north or down south. I mean, but I don't think that was happening up here. At least I don't think it was. But the problem with FEMA is that they pay for the buyouts, but they make it so that the properties are in perpetuity not taxable, and they become green space, which is all fine and dandy with, hey Judy, it's all fine and dandy with, municipalities with, a bunch of property. Not really good for folks like Barre City, who we have a limited space, and we have to help the folks that need the buyouts. We have to help them, but good golly, federal government, can you do a little bit better of a job?
Right,
That's my
exactly.
opinion. Stupid
Can we
federal
go back to the bridge thing a little bit?
Since Judy's on?
Since Judy's here, and because I think that
I know she enjoys the bridge
well,
being
she,
removed,
yes,
right?
and she has expressed,
Yeah.
she has certainly expressed the similar concerns that we do as far as safety goes. And so my question about all of this too is remove it, but what are their thoughts about, has there been any thought in just, or is the thought only remove it?
Well, I think the problem, because the idea of like raising it up, you can't do that because of the railroad. Choo-choo train gets full, power over everything. Because at one point they were, they were the bomb. Unfortunately, they maintain all those powers, so we can't do anything about it. And so there's no ability to raise the bridge. So the only other option is to remove it. It's, it sucks.
It does suck. And my biggest concern is the safety, but when you propose something as extreme as removing a bridge that's been there for a really long time and is a crucial access point to kind of like put that out there, put it on the table, and make it part of this master plan with no plan. There's no plan for moving that bridge. Is there any talk about accessing further up or a bit maybe near Cumberland Farms, or maybe, between just moving it a little bit? Yeah. Have they talked about that at all? Or widening the rivers on either side instead? I didn't see anything in the package at all about that. And we had a meeting Oh God, it's been months. It was months ago now about removing the trestle. And I don't understand where all of that conversation went.
Well, they're having difficulties removing the trestle as well. The trestle. I don't know the status of it though, but I'm sure they'll probably talk about it tomorrow night. So folks should tune in to the city council meeting and
And I hope
get an
I
update.
hope that people do tune in because they're going to be talking about all of this, and it's
Yeah.
pretty crucial. But I hope that people weigh in, and if
Yeah.
you don't want to weigh in there, weigh in here so that your concerns can be expressed by someone
Yeah.
there. I mean, I just think it's important that because otherwise this will be something that really easily just happens, and there's not a damn thing anybody can do about it.
Yep. And then, of course,
Which will
there's
probably happen anyways because it's the final meeting. They've had several meetings. Tomorrow's the final meeting of this flood mitigation thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think many have weighed in against it at all, if at all, since the beginning. Have they?
Not sure.
Not that I've heard. I don't remember anybody. I don't recall anybody. But
No.
yeah.
And then, of course, finally, there's a consideration to contract for study about the Berlin Prospect Street stop sign. So for
Yes.
folks for folks that don't know, there was a conversation about putting a stop sign at, so it's a four-way stop up on top of Berlin, where Berlin and Prospect intersect, right before Country Way.
Yep.
And they're going to be considered to do a traffic study to determine whether or not a stop sign is worthy. What I didn't know is that she did a petition of neighbors, and I wonder how many neighbors signed that.
I don't know, but I mean, it's
Hey, Sue Ann.
it's a very
And Barb.
scary. It's a scary intersection.
It is. I mean, full disclosure, I voted to just put a sign in before, which I'm part of the problem. But I feel like, if you've got, multiple neighbors saying that, I'm
Well,
wondering
is there one there's already one at the top of Berlin, and there's one at the Countryway, right? Isn't there when you're coming out of Countryway?
Correct.
So there's one on those sides, but they want to put on one on
Correct.
either side of Prospect Street.
correct. I mean, would it be inconvenient for me as I'm driving back? Sure, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. I have to stop there anyway because I want to turn onto Berlin Street. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
But it's going to be a parking study, which means
Correct.
are we paying some? Is the
I
city
think it's
paying somebody
$2,500.
to do a study?
Yeah, I think it's $2,500. I mean, or we could just place the sign.
Right. That was my thought. Because
In like
signs
5
are
years,
expensive
take it down, see if
too,
anybody cares.
believe it or not.
Huh?
Because signs are expensive too, believe it or not.
True,
So
true.
just place the damn sign.
Well,
If it
I
makes
think
people feel safer and the people that live there, if that's what they want, then just place the damn sign.
Raylene says, place the sign.
Yeah.
Make it so.
I mean,
That's what
really?
she says. Yeah, I don't know.
Here,
River-
you read Judy's comment.
Okay. The river is moving smoothly on the side they dredged. Ooh, behind Miles. Now, if they get permission from Mr. Allen to use his property to dredge that side of the bridge, I bet they would have a nice flow there. It's too bad. The railroad will not allow them to use the property to dredge. Seriously, that's a real jerk move for the railroad to do that, but I'm not overly surprised. The other side, after all, it would be in their best interest, and it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, Jerry. I don't know what the sign cost is for the sign. So you want to move on to school board or school board meeting?
Yeah, I think, well, is that all that's in council? I thought
Yeah.
there was a couple of other things.
I
No?
don't think so. I think that's it.
That's it? I mean,
That's
the package
That's
and the whole removing of the bridge is a pretty big deal. And I
It
hope
is a
that
pretty big deal.
people at least attend by Zoom and speak their piece about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Barb, well then the railroad should pay for the flooding damage, not to the residents. I mean,
She's not
you're
wrong.
not wrong.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Yeah.
just be a friendly neighbor. Let us use that. I didn't know that the railroad was being that way, but again, I'm not surprised that the railroad would be that way.
Oh, me either. I mean, they still haven't picked up the junk in the back parking lot here. There's still a pile of their crap from how many years ago, but they'll pick it up when they're ready. And the city can't remove it. The town can't. Nobody else can touch it to remove it all. Only they can. If you did, could actually get charged with a crime. It's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. All right, so for the school board, so we're going to be talking about the budget for FY25, or no, FY26. FY26, yeah. Right? Is it? Yes, because we just did
I don't know.
FY25.
You're
I don't
the
know how it works.
counselor.
It says it right
Well,
there.
now state
It
rep.
I know, state rep. It says FY26 right on the agenda. So it's always confusing how they do like the budgeting because it's always in halfway in the year.
Right.
So you're like FY25, technically it's starting in FY25, but it's actually FY26.
And really, people are quite sick of talking about budgets
That is
right
valid.
now. So
That is very valid.
maybe
So
maybe you say the year like a year later, you say 26 because it makes them feel like they're not going to get kicked in the teeth with it right now.
Valid, very valid point. So the superintendent is looking for some guidance on what the school board wants to see for a budget. And then, of course, we're going to go through enrollment, home study projections, and it's just, providing an update. This is normal stuff, the class size policy to, showing what the class sizes are, the averages, quality education. All this stuff is just reporting back to us. And then there's the public comment conversation, which there's, what that is, we've VSBA has been very, they indicate that the way to do a school board meeting is allow people to comment once in the beginning at the public comment section, which then makes the meetings go a lot smoother and quicker. But it does stifle people from commenting on issues at that particular agenda item. But
Yeah. I don't like that idea at all. I remember, I believe it was last year. I think it was last year that a parent was there to speak in regards to their child being bullied
Yep.
and then being held to the 2-minute, literally cut off, and which made them crying and furious, which would have made me crying and furious. And they left the meeting. And I mean, if you have something to say, especially if you have a child there and you are going through something and you have come to the board to get help, results, support, then you should get it. And if it takes you 10 minutes to talk about that, then you should be allowed that.
Yeah.
And
well-
also, it happened with city council too, though. We saw it not too long ago where there was it was before Tom Lozon was mayor, where an elderly gentleman that was having clearly a hard time with his speech and maybe needed just a little more time was totally dismissed and cut off from saying what he needed to say because he was held to that, 2-minute rule because there were too many people in the room. And that just shouldn't happen.
Well, I think there has to be some, give and take, and there's
Right,
obviously you've got
circumstances.
to make sure that there's the meeting is flowing properly.
Right.
You gotta let the meeting flow properly, right? Like we have a guideline of 2 minutes, right? And I've definitely have allowed over 2 minutes, but for the most part, it's 2 minutes, and that's
And most people, that's all they need.
right.
So when those instances come up, though, where there's something that is more than that, and it's something as big as a parent that is standing in front of you about something really horrible that has happened, that parent should be given the time.
Yeah. I mean, this is mainly about like agenda items in the future part. Like, for example, we would have the public comment, and then we would just go do our business. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes out. How the school board wants to proceed. Jerry, you mentioned that I don't think the stuff is on the town property. I think it's on the railroad's property. And then of course we're going to talk about school board committees, and whether or not we are going to continue having our committees. I think there's certainly some arguments as to why we should get rid of them, and there's some arguments of why we should keep them. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes down. I think that with the finance committee, it's probably going to get an axe, right? Because we certainly don't want to talk about the school budget with just 4 people of the school board. My guess is that we'll probably, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But that's pretty much it for school board. I mean, there's some additional reports and stuff like that are going to be brought forward, but nothing.
So now let's talk about the election.
Want to talk about the election?
Yeah, let's talk about the election and what a great job you did. I had a blast up at the polls. So I was up there with my friend Sharon came for the day with me. And it was amazing. And we had the grill up there. One of my friends, Johnny Badeau, brought his grill over for me to use. And we had Sharon, my friend Sharon and her husband donated a lot to me to be able to do that for the residents on voting day, election day. And then some other community members donated like chips and cookies and granola bars and gummy bears for the kids. And so we had a great deal of stuff and all the condiments and stuff. It was really cool to see a bunch of people to come together and make that happen. And we stayed there all day until 5 o'clock is when we broke down the table to because I had to go to Phil Scott's election
Right.
party, so I had to go home, get ready for that. I didn't want to smell like a grilled up hot dog to go to see all that, but
No grilled hot dog for Raylene.
no, I didn't want to do that. But it was a lot of fun to do that again, and so many people come
Appreciated
over,
it.
stop, they say hi, no matter what political affiliation they have, what it doesn't matter. They just stop at the table, get their free hot dog, talk for a little bit. It was just really good. And a lot of people do. They appreciate it a lot because they're using their lunch break. And that's the point of the whole thing,
Yeah.
is they're using their lunchtime to come up there and vote. And we need those voters. We need them to come out. We need them to take that time. And it's just a way to say thank you. And it really is a lot of fun
Yeah.
to do it.
And you did that all by yourself. I mean, I
did.
can't believe how much work you put into it. You did a good job.
Well, this is like I mean, we've done this a few times now, and I always get some friends to recruit with me. Sharon made donuts, and for the school board, the revote, the last, and she made a lot of donuts, 200 of them. God bless her. And
those were some mighty fine
they're
donuts.
amazing donuts. But and then we had done the hot dogs before, but it is a lot of work, but it's worth it, and it's worth the community feel of it, because I feel like there's so much divisiveness, and but it's not. You just give somebody a hot dog, and nothing is divisive about getting a hot dog and a free bag of chips, right?
No.
So it's a lot of fun, and I encourage more people to do it. Unfortunately, so where I set up, one, I use the handicap parking. So it makes sense to me to park on the very end so that I can set the table up. And everything up so that it's on the end. If I parked in one of the spots right up in the front, in the middle, then my paraphernalia would be taking up another spot. And that wouldn't be okay. So where I set up is right behind the people campaigning. And which I could set up on the other side, I guess, where people are campaigning, but people don't come out the door and into the parking lot that way. I want people to be able to come out the door and walk right to where I am, into the entrance. I want people to be able to see me and know I'm there. I don't want to hide in the corner. That's not the point of it. And that posed some problems this time, which kind of blew me away a little bit, not going to lie. Somebody got really upset about it and thought they would be a pain in the butt and call the Secretary of State's office and get a little bit crabby about it. But I called the Secretary of State's office myself and said, I'm not moving because I'm not doing anything wrong. I can do this. I'm not a candidate. All of this has been donated by myself and my friends, and this is what we choose to do for our community. And they said I didn't have to. And in fact, I could have stayed right where I was in the parking lot. But, I didn't. I moved over a little bit just to appease everybody and not
specifically me, because I was...
Right, because you were like, oh my God, people are going to think, and... but I will never do it again. I'm going to always set up in the same spot every time, because that's where I see the most people. And that's the point of the whole thing.
Or you could do on the other side, right? Just on the other side where, same line, a little bit closer to the road. I wonder if you could do it.
I was close to the road.
No, I mean...
Oh, when I was on the other side.
Yeah,
totally. But the FEMA trailers are right there.
True.
And so that's why... but whatever, I'm going to just keep doing it.
And they were good hot dogs.
And because now I know I can do it. Yes, they're real Mackenzie Snap hot dogs.
Snap hot dogs. They were very yummy. I'm not going to lie.
And we had chili. Sometimes you could have chili dog, chili cheese dog. We had onions. We had all the fixings. Mm-hmm. And it was a lot of fun. And poor Donna Thunder was trying to get her hot dog. And everybody's picking up stuff and putting it away, thinking they got to move. And I'm like, oh, hell no. I'm not going anywhere. This is a hard no for me. I'm not moving. And I didn't have to. And I'm glad that I was persistent. I'm glad I'm as big of a bitch as I am. And
tenacious.
I am. And I'm very stubborn. And I know. And I'm not going to have people push me around like that or, try to... No, that doesn't work for me.
It's kind of funny. I've heard that the complaint, because the person came over to my table that I had my pins out, I had all my stuff, and I did have I had some donuts that were sitting there, and I had some apples, and if somebody wanted them, I would be perfectly fine. So the person came over to me and said, that's not okay. And I was like, it's not, I didn't think it, I didn't want to have anything to do with it. So I just got rid of the stuff and didn't hand it out.
Right, you didn't didn't deal with that
because I didn't want to deal with that. But I guess the person went over to the progressive table didn't get such an easy response, and that's what my understanding is. That's
Prompted
what
them to
prompted
call the
to
Secretary of State.
State's office. But by the time,
But I'm the one that got spoken to.
Yeah.
Like the people that came out of the building didn't go to anybody else's table. They came directly to me and were like, you need to,
shut it down.
shut it down. You need to cease and desist. And the person that said that,
Be nice.
no, I am being nice, but I'm not even really sure what made her think that she had the authority to be quite that about it. Like that was
PCA
a
member.
really
I mean, I've done that too.
that was
where-
really a wrong
So
way
I-
to go about it. Not
mean, you
screaming,
can
you
always-
need to cease and desist.
Well, you can always be a little more squishy like me,
No,
but-
you need to say, be professional and say, the Secretary of State's office is called, and this is what they're saying, and we need you to stop.
Yeah.
But because it was me, that's not how it came out. And, but I knew better. Anyways, I knew better, and yeah, I don't do well with
Yeah.
that. So I took care of it.
Yeah. And
And I stayed, and now I know I can do it over and over and over again. So everybody should be used to it.
Continue doing it.
I am gonna continue doing it. Next year, I may friggin' have cotton candy and clowns everywhere too. I don't know. You never know what I'm gonna do. So,
That could be fun.
but it's a really good time, and it means that we're having kind of a community, like a town meeting day type
Yeah.
thing that nobody has anymore, and where people stand there and really talk to each other, and I like doing it, and I'm gonna do it.
All right. So regarding the results, so we had, well, of course, booting for Barry, Michael won. So we had 3,780 people cast their votes. That's a pretty awesome turnout. Granted, it's
Amazing.
It is, and it's not like, I mean, it's good. It could be better because we need, we need the total voter registration is 6,247.
Oh yeah. So
So it's a little.
we got a ways to go.
It's a little ways to go, but what's it's still quite a few people that came out to vote, which was pretty awesome. And of course, Kamala Harris, and for federal, this is for statewide, or for federal government, and I don't have the numbers for statewide, just because.
What do you
This
mean
is
for
Barry
like
beat.
Phil Scott and
Yeah, I'm only
Statewide and-
gonna go over the results from Barry City, because this is Barry beat. That being said, so Kamala Harris obviously won, but it wasn't. It was actually kind of. It was. I think it was like 2-1. 2-1. I don't know if it's 2-1.
I don't know.
can't
I
remember.
didn't.
I don't know what the. So she got 2,272, and he got 1,300. So that would be 2-1, right?
Yep.
Almost 2-1.
Almost.
Yeah. So that's for. I mean, that was 1,300 people that voted for Donald Trump, which was pretty surprising in the state of Vermont. I'll be quite frank. That being said, for U.S. Senator, it was Gerald Malloy got 1,189, and Bernie Sanders got 2,296, just a few more than Kamala Harris. But, so Mark Koster got 1,104, and Becca Balint got 2,095. But you know who got the most votes of all the candidates on the ballot?
John Rogers.
No, it wasn't John Rogers. It wasn't John Rogers. It was Phil Scott.
I thought you said. Oh no, somebody else said that earlier. Never mind. Remember, where were we earlier? And somebody said that he did not get the most votes.
So I might have said that when I was looking at the results, because the original results that were reported were mixed up. They reported the Independent was reported with Phil Scott's numbers originally.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it was strange. So the state of Vermont on the map,
I was going to say,
it
because
was
I know
all
I've heard
red except for one purple.
that. One
It
purple.
was Barry.
Yeah.
It was just a typing error, a data entry error on that.
Well, listen, I mean, seeing all that red has been amazing.
I know.
I'm just going to tell you.
As a Republican, I do like the red. I will say, but for Lieutenant Governor, John Rogers did take Barre City. He took it by 200 votes, but I still got more.
You got more
I got
votes
more
than John Rogers.
I got more votes than John Rogers. So he got 1,800
For your position.
For my
Yeah.
position, yeah. 1,830 and I got 1,857. So I got
Awesome.
them beat by 27
I hope they
points.
do the right thing there and put
with the
him-
Zuckerman thing? Oh,
yeah. I really hope that, I mean, the voters have spoken, and I really hope that they go that direction in this. And I think that if they didn't, it would be very unwise.
Yeah, it would be interesting if the legislature was still like the supermajority, whether or not they would, but I doubt. I can't imagine the legislature having enough votes to undo that election. I
Sure
can't
hope
imagine.
Not.
I
I
can't
sure
imagine
hope not. I'm ready for the tampon man to go away. So
So tell me how you feel about that.
we already know how I feel about that, and I've already got myself all in a ruckus tonight over things, and it was not nice to people already once tonight. So now I'm going to be nice this time and
So
not say
Raylene,
anything.
Do you want to chat about
No, the tampon man.
about the fact that he just wants to help people
That
understand?
he's a dirty old man. He's a dirty old man. That I'm sorry, there is nothing about that I would ever find helpful. If he ever came to me and said anything to me about my menstrual cycle, I would probably he would maybe be worried about surgery and needing menstrual cycle materials. That's all I'm going to say about that.
No, we'll
I
pass
would
on
be, I
from
would
this
be
conversation.
that would be like not okay with me. There's lines that you don't cross, and that's just one of them.
Yeah.
Especially a complete stranger. Like,
Yeah,
that's just
I'm
like,
not gonna lie. I don't. That's one of those things. Like
that's like
I
the
wouldn't really
creepy
wanna-
uncle that people talk about. You know,
Yeah,
like I don't
no,
know. It's just
I don't want-
gross.
Yeah, no. You
What
don't
the
talk
hell's
about
wrong
that
with
stuff.
you?
That and you don't go into a lady's purse.
That I don't care if people go in my purse. I don't care.
Oh, well,
I have nothing to hide. I really don't.
not even the tampons.
No. No, I had a hysterectomy. I was 27.
So anyway, yes, I mean, I'm gonna chortle a bit because I'm pretty excited about the vote count. I got 1,857, and the next runner-up, which was Teddy Wazizak, he got 1,422. I was extremely disappointed by Carol not getting in.
Me too.
I like Teddy. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Teddy and I were friends. Politically speaking, we're opposite.
Right,
but-
very much so.
Yeah, but you know, and Carol and I were opposite too. The only difference is that I felt that
The
she was
approach.
right.
The approach and approachability.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll be. I think it will be fine. That, you know, Teddy and I will be able to focus on things that are good for Barre, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I was very saddened by Carol Dawes not being able to get in because, quite frankly,
Me too.
and I know that this is probably going to irritate you when I say it, but of the four candidates, she was probably the most qualified. That's my opinion. Okay.
I can agree with you on that. 100%. I mean, she she knows.
She knows her stuff.
She really does.
She knows her
And,
stuff.
I think that she could have done. I think she could have done a lot for the city. And I
Yeah.
hope this won't be her last shot at
Yeah.
trying to do it. I hope that she doesn't throw in the towel. And
I hope so too.
I know.
hope
I
she
don't
doesn't
think
as
that
well.
she will, because I think that she loves this city so
Yeah.
much that
does.
I think that she'll be involved one way or another. But no, I can 100% agree with you. I love you, Michael, but Carol's smarter than you.
Oh, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. Everybody's smarter than me.
You know.
I've lost my intelligence a long time ago.
But
I
I
don't
am
know what
super
happened.
proud of you. I am super, super proud of you. And it's been like, not gonna lie, super frustrating at times
Dealing with me?
dealing with you and working through this whole campaign stuff. And like sometimes
Because I'm too squishy?
we clash in that regard because, yeah, we have two very, very different personalities. And, but maybe that's a good thing because we can rub off on each other a little bit, you know, like, but maybe someday a lot more than you can get just a little tougher. But,
I'm squishy. And folks that don't know, you can go watch the video of me being squishy.
it just, you know, whatever. But I'm super proud of you, and I think that you tried really hard, and I think that your message and your campaign and the things that, you know, you want to work on are super important. And
Yeah.
I definitely look forward to working
Yeah.
with all of that with you.
I can tell you that it was nothing that I did. Honestly, I think it was the team of folks behind me that were pitching for me. You, Rosemary, Michael, all those people that endorsed me, all the people that gave me money. And I mean, wow. I mean, it was pretty phenomenal, the support that I received, and I can't. It's humbling to think about that, and I just hope I don't disappoint. That's all, and
You just stick to your promises and be as
well, I didn't make any promises.
well, not promises, but I mean, stick to your what
Yeah.
you told everybody is your agenda.
And that's what I
think
plan on
that-
doing.
Right, and that's, you know, I think that if you don't waver from that, then all those people that supported you for those reasons will always support you,
Yeah.
and maybe even a little harder, they'll support you. And you know, I don't think you'll disappoint anybody. I really
I hope
don't.
not. And if I do, you
Not
can always.
intentionally.
Well, yeah, that's true. I
And
definitely
I think that
disappoint
you
people all
need
the
to
time.
be, I think you need to remain as available as you always have been.
Yeah, of course.
You know, as a city councilor, and even since you stopped being a city councilor, anybody can email you, call you, whatever. Do you always answer everything right now? No, but you know, you'll direct them.
Especially
to,
if you're Raylene.
yeah, he doesn't. I have to find my own answers. But you will
welcome,
direct
Judy.
them to who they need to be talking to, what they need
Yeah.
to be doing. You at least give direction.
Yeah.
Still in the city, in your ward, and to others, and I think that's a big deal.
Yeah. And Judy thanked me for picking up the signs, but Judy, thank you for allowing me to keep the signs on your property for
Yes,
so long.
yes.
Because they were there for like 2-3 months. Well, I'll be asking you again in 2 years.
Right. Right.
But yeah. Yeah, it'll
Yeah.
be fun, and
We're
we'll,
super lucky. We have a lot of people in this community who
are amazing.
are amazing, and I think
I
that
agree.
that are people that have been here for a long time, just like me and you, and yeah, they just want to help any way they can.
I agree.
We're lucky.
All right. Any additional comments before we close?
No, except for tune into the girls
Yep.
Wednesday night, 5:30. Thursday, Michael and I will be here for the weekly wrap up. and maybe we're going to have a guest again this week. And then Friday, I will be here, only driving the bus. I'm only running the equipment for Guy Page, and I believe Rob Roper is his guest this Friday at 4 o'clock. So from 4 to 5 right here on 802 Scoop. So tune into those. It's no secret tomorrow because the person that was scheduled to come in is now has to work because too many people are out with COVID. We're still talking about COVID.
Good
and,
golly.
all over again. So she cannot take the time out of the day to leave working and come here to do that. But the next several weeks after that are booked up and pretty solid. So, yeah.
All right.
Have a great week, everybody.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you Thursday night.
Absolutely. For the wrap. And with that, we'll wrap up the Barre Beat and say thank you to everybody for watching.
Yes, thank you all. We appreciate you so much.
Absolutely. Have a great evening.